Hey YouTube, we are back again this week for another video portion of the Daily Dose Sports Podcast. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Hope you are getting ready for the NFL draft that begins tomorrow night. Hey, right now, we are actually going to begin our 2021 Daily Dose Mockery Draft. If you want to know who is going where, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to give you the first 5 picks of the draft right now and let you know who's going where. But before we jump into our Daily Dose NFL Mockery Draft, I did want you all to know we did get the t-shirt for our Daily Dose March Madness winner, Larry from Centennial. He won the Daily Dose Bracket Challenge, and he asked that we get him a green shirt in honor of the Baylor Bears winning the title and winning the bracket for him, despite the fact that he might not really follow college basketball all that much. So if you're watching the video, you can actually see the shirt here, and we will get this out to Larry as quickly as possible. But let's go ahead and jump into our Daily Dose Mockery Draft right now. So the 2021 NFL Draft begins tomorrow. That is Thursday, May 29th. It starts at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It is actually going to be held just outside of First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, the home of the Cleveland Browns, as NFL teams will gather to select eligible players to their teams until Saturday night. The draft will roll through Saturday night. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who had the worst record in 2020, have the first pick tomorrow night, and then we will have 31 picks following the Jags tomorrow night. That will complete the first round. The second and third rounds will start back up on Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then the 4th through 7th rounds will complete on Saturday. They start at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. In all, 259 selections are going to be made as teams try to build their rosters for the future. Now, unlike some sports podcasts and some sports websites and some sports networks, we're not going to waste your time trying to predict all 259 picks. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to waste your time with the first half of the first round, kind of give you an idea how that round is going to shape up. So, without further ado, let's get to our 2021 Daily Dose NFL Mockery Draft. And just so you know, if any trades come in right before the draft, we're not acknowledging them. We are just going to predict the picks as they are going to go, as they are right now, so you know. Let's go ahead and start off at number 1. And while in some years the top pick might have a little bit of mystery, as much as the top sports networks are trying to convince us we could see a surprise this year at the top, do not believe the hype. The Jacksonville Jaguars went 1-15 last year. They got the top pick in the draft. They also got new head coach Urban Meyer. And hey, they need a quarterback really, really bad. Well, Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence is insanely good. He's 6'6", 220 pounds. He ran a 4.7 40. He can make all the throws. This guy is literally the reason that Urban Meyer came out of like his 4th retirement to coach again. Urban Meyer hasn't loved a quarterback this much since he was at Florida with Tim Tebow. And if Urban can do what he did at Florida and at Ohio State with the Jaguars, he's going to compile a ton of talent around Trevor Lawrence. He's going to win some games. And then he'll quit the job while clutching his chest, and most of that Jaguars talent will get arrested at some point. There's a good chance one of the players just might murder a few people. So what I'm saying is it's going to be just like the good old days for Urban Meyer. Up next at number 2, we have the New York Jets, who went 2-14 last year, and while in the process of having a terrible season, they managed to even screw that up by winning 2 games and losing the top pick and Trevor Lawrence in the process. Well, remember, it was just back in 2018 that the Jets drafted their franchise quarterback with the 3rd overall pick. So they should be all set at quarterback, right? Yeah, not so much. They have already given up on Sam Darnold and traded him to Carolina. But here's the thing about the New York Jets. It's not just Sam Darnold. What do Sandy Stevens, Sam Darnold, Mark Sanchez, Richard Todd, Chad Pennington, Geno Smith, Browning Nagel, John Huarte, Kellen Clemens, Christian Hackenberg, Al Woodall, and Ken O'Brien all have in common they have all been drafted early by the Jets to be their franchise quarterback, and they haven't really turned out to be that. So next up on that scrap heap, with the second pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select BYU quarterback Zach Wilson. Hey, Zach Wilson has a ton of tools. He's got a big arm. He's really athletic. This kid is a gunslinger. Oh, I know. This time the Jets have actually figured things out, right? They finally got their guy, right? Yeah, just like all those other times too. The San Francisco 49ers have the third pick in the draft, but they had to make a big trade to get it. The Niners traded their 12th overall pick, plus a 2022 third rounder, and first round picks in 2022 and 2023 to the Miami Dolphins to get that number 3 selection. That tells me that the Niners have a quarterback that they want desperately. And I think we all kind of get the feeling they've kind of soured on Jimmy Garoppolo. Remember, Garoppolo was out with injuries a lot last year, and when he did play, he was pretty much just making everyone wish he was out again with injuries. So I believe San Francisco is going to target Alabama quarterback Mac Jones here. You know, Jones is quietly a pretty good prospect. He's 6'3", 214 pounds. He is a highly accurate passer. He doesn't seem to get rattled by too much. So maybe the Niners will have their franchise quarterback here. But here's my concern, and I'm just kind of throwing this out there. It might sound kind of crazy, but think of all the talent that Alabama has had recently with wide receivers and tight ends. Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, O.J. Howard, John Mechie. I'm just wondering, what if Alabama quarterbacks are just system guys? I mean, honestly, I think Cam Newton could have completed passes to those guys. And if that's the case, I know San Francisco is hoping they're getting their franchise guy here. We'll see if that actually turns out. Now, the number 4 pick in this NFL draft belongs to the Atlanta Falcons, who went 4-12 last year, despite the fact that quarterback Matt Ryan was actually a top 5 quarterback statistically. And I actually think this number 4 pick is the swing pick of the draft. Because, see, the Falcons have a decision to make. Do they go draft some actual defense, because it's always terrible, or do they go get another weapon for the 35-year-old Ryan, or do they go draft Matt Ryan's replacement and begin to move forward with their franchise post Matty Ice? Now, there are risks on both sides. Draft a quarterback, and you might lose the locker room because players will feel like you don't care about winning right now. Draft defense or another weapon for Matty Ice, and you're just delaying the inevitable. So which way will the Falcons go? Honestly, considering the $27 million cap hit and all of the painful losses he's been around, the Falcons probably should just give up on Matt Ryan and draft his successor. But they haven't done that for 13 years running. So I don't see them doing that here either. They think he's good. Okay, well, the Atlanta Falcons are going to select Florida tight end Kyle Pitts, which gives Matt Ryan another really, really good weapon. Then again, he's always had amazing weapons down in Atlanta. It's never really mattered. Atlanta will keep losing, but Matt Ryan will keep putting up big numbers. It just seems to be how things go for the Falcons. At number 5, we have the perennial cellar dweller of the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals, who went 4-11-1 last year. But actually, they kind of started to show some life behind rookie quarterback Joe Burrow. Unfortunately, Joe Burrow got broken in half last year, playing behind an offensive line that proved to be more dangerous than like a night out with Pac-Man Jones. Now, the Bengals need some offensive weapons for Joe Burrow, but they also need to keep Joe Burrow from getting his spleen ruptured for him. So it's going to be fascinating to see whether or not the Bengals make the smart move here, or do they do the same old dumb Bengals thing? I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, and I am going to say they make a smart move and they select Oregon offensive tackle Penei Sewell, who, while he might not be a grade A left tackle on his first day, he definitely will fortify that offensive line a little bit. He will keep people off of Joe Burrow a little bit, and I know that's probably giving the Bengals way too much credit. That front office doesn't deserve any credit. They're always dumb. But let's just see if they're dumb enough to actually prove me wrong. Okay, YouTube, be sure that you go over and check out the rest of the podcast. This week on the full podcast, well, we still have 10 more picks to make in our Daly Dose mockery draft. Will the Miami Dolphins select a quarterback? Going to be talking about that. Will the Detroit Lions take yet another wide receiver? And what in the world are my hometown Denver Broncos going to do? Plus, we do have a Daly Dose top 5 for you today. The Jacksonville Jaguars have that top pick. I think we all know they're going to take Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, but is that a guarantee that he'll be successful? Not so sure. Make sure you go over and you listen to the full podcast. I will leave a link here in the comments for you on YouTube. Hope y'all are doing well. I will see y'all next Wednesday. Have a great week.